if I had another traumatic medical episode. That's a really nice way of saying if I died again. So it's me again, back on a rail trail again. I'm actually on the Grey County rail trail, and I was here last week riding southwards from Dundalk. This week I'm riding northwards from Dundalk up towards, I'm not going to get to Owen Sound, but up towards Owen Sound, just to see if the trail is rideable, and it really is. It's amazing crushed gravel, really good. So far, anyway. I'll keep you updated on that one. The only thing with it is the scenery is really nice. It's lovely to be away from the city. It's very agricultural, and there is a lot of it. So there's a lot of the same kind of scenery, and that's why I've stopped here, which is the first sort of break in the scenery. This beautiful lake, and although it has some inhabitants, there's a couple of houses over the far side. It's very quiet. Notice leaning up against the bench is my Giant Defy, which if you watch my channel regularly, you might realise that you haven't seen it recently. I take my bike to some pretty adventurous places, and I take it out in all weathers, so it gets muddy, it gets wet, and the Paris to Ancaster race this year was like one adventure too much, so I took it to Victor at Red Panda Cycles. He's my sort of regular mechanic, and he did a whole slew of work on it. He's incredibly thorough.
Tubeless WTB byway tires. Replaced the wheel bearings, high quality ones.
Front and back? Or?
Front and back, yeah. Checked your wheels or rotors for trueness just to make sure they're up to proper specification. We replaced your front caliper. If you want to squeeze around here, you see everything is new and shiny. The old one, which I can show you later, that didn't work at all. I think it's seen its number of P2As.
Yeah.
All right. New brake pads, front and rear. Bled the brakes, front and rear. Replaced your bar tape with the new Silca Nastro
Stunning.
Susshino. I washed and polished the entire frame. I cleaned the drivetrain. There were a few leftovers from Paris to Ancaster,
really?
I think, yeah, hiding somewhere. So
that's a tough race.
Yeah, so I had to clean everything out properly. Went over all the fasteners, made sure they're secured to your proper specification. You got a new and freshly waxed chain.
Oh yeah.
Adjusted the shifting. And on the rear wheel, an entire overhaul of the hub, including new bearings and a free hub service.
So this is Rotary Park in Markdale. Markdale, the home of Chapman's Ice Cream, which if you're Canadian, or if you're from Ontario at the very least, you definitely will have heard of Chapman's Ice Cream. And just down there is a little creek. You can't see it from here, and but you can hear it. So I just wanted to do a little loop on the country roads just to test out my bike on hills since Victor did the repairs on it, and it is running sweet. The bearings are buttery smooth, so I'm very, very happy. So well done, Defy. It's nice and muddy again, so don't look too closely, Victor. And if you're wondering, here's a little tip. When I prop my bike up, never prop it up by any part of the frame or the gears. I actually prop it up by the back tire, and it is incredibly secure. So that's a little tip. God, you can see how muddy the trail is though. I'll probably clear a bit of that off before I start again. In case you're wondering, I have moved from the last time I was at this lake. I'm actually on my way back now, but I wanted to stop and just give you a bit of a medical update. What nicer place to stop than this. As most of you will probably know, about 11 years ago, I was in a half marathon and I had a heart attack and collapsed and was without a pulse for 7 minutes. So it transpired that really the root cause of that was high cholesterol. So I was put on a statin, and that really has brought my cholesterol under control for 11 years. So every time I go and have a blood test, I kind of feel really positive and kind of almost excited when I get the result, because it is, my cholesterol's so good now. But the problem with statins is over time they can have an adverse effect on your liver. I've got a new cardiologist who is super thorough, and looking at the blood test, he feels that there may have been that adverse effect on my liver, and so he has, in consultation with me, but basically he has decided to reduce the level of statin that I'm taking. So I used to be taking 80 milligrams a day, now I'm only taking 50. So that kind of, that's really good because it's looking after my liver, but then on the other hand, I'm kind of now really nervous about well, not really nervous, but I'm somewhat concerned and interested in what's going to happen to my cholesterol. Now, in that race 11 years ago, the plaque cholesterol that built up on my arteries actually broke free because my heart was pumping so hard and caused a complete blockage. So I'm now at a point where until I kind of get this sorted out, until we work out what my cholesterol levels are going to be in the future, I don't feel comfortable overexerting myself. And the only place I wouldn't be able to control how hard I exerted myself without an awful lot of self-discipline would be in races. So for 2024 at least, I have decided that I won't be entering any more races. And this is really disappointing, not for the races themselves. I enjoy the courses, and I enjoy all of the rigmarole to do with the race. And it's not for the challenge. I've kind of accomplished everything I would want to in life, so no need to kind of challenge myself anymore. But really it's the camaraderie, the community that was built up, and every time I go to a race and people on the start line or even during the race will approach me and say, hey, I watch your videos, and conversations start and people stay in touch, and it's been really absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to miss that. And you know what? Hopefully in 2025 I'll be back. But yeah, I really think that I have to be serious and sensible about my health. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who would say, "Oh, come on, I'm sure you'll be all right," and I'm sure I would. And I expect that I'd probably be one of those people saying that to me as well. But it's really hard to shake off the memory of, you know, waking up really confused in hospital and thinking, well, a day ago I'd been this fit, healthy person, and now, you know, look how close I came to actually dying. And so I think good sense has to prevail. I want to continue to, in my own small way, to be an advocate for an active recovery from a major medical issue. But just think how far I would put that whole philosophy back if, through being too active or pushing it or not listening carefully enough to the advice given, if I had another traumatic medical episode. That's a really nice way of saying if I died again.
I do hope you've enjoyed this medical update for both me and my bicycle. If you have, please remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you on the next ride.